Hmm? Ah! Oh.
Of eating your ice cream.
Well, they did seem hungry. Don't worry, I let them pick their own flavors. Did you talk to him?
I did.
Did he tell you where our brother is?
Yes.
Did it cost you anything?
I owe my son a boon.
Hey, panelers and Podcastica listeners, welcome to the show. I'm Jayme.
And I'm Mark.
And this is a spoiler-full podcast about Sandman Season 2, Episodes 5 and 6. This is a collaborative podcast along with Podcastica Network, so this podcast will be available for both Panels to Pixels and Podcastica, wherever you listen to your podcast. That was a lot of P's in a row.
Yeah, I know. All right. This episode of the podcast, we're covering Sandman Season 2, Episodes 5 and 6. So Episode 5 is entitled Song of Orpheus. And the synopsis for this particular episode is: to honor a promise to one sibling, Morpheus must shatter a vow to another. In ancient Greece, a wedding night tragedy turns a son against his father. And with Sandman Season 2, Episode 6, it's entitled Family Blood. And that synopsis is: Morpheus enlists an expert in the occult to smuggle a deeply personal relic out of Paris and help him and Delirium find the answers they seek.
I mean, it's not untrue, but...
It is not untrue. These are directly from Netflix. That's the whole thing.
Well, I mean...
I like to take everything directly from the source. So when I do Disney Plus stuff for like Ironheart and all the Disney, the DC, Marvel, the MCU Marvel stuff that's on Disney Plus, that they do stuff, I like to keep it so that it's original. Usually they're short, they're sweet, and kind of vague.
What? Yeah, which makes sense because you don't want somebody reading it and knowing exactly what happens.
Yeah. But with both of these episodes, they do coincide and they work along with each other. It's like I looked at it when I watched these two episodes initially for the first time together, and then I watched it again just shortly before we came on. It felt right in the sense that it was like almost a full circle for the story for both episodes, in my opinion. So it kind of worked out, the fact that we're doing these two episodes together.
Yeah, these two episodes go really well together. Like, it's hard to separate them apart. Like, they could be one movie together.
Yeah. And to keep you listeners notified, yes, this is a spoiler-full podcast. So if you have not watched the episodes in any way, please stop the podcast, come back, and then listen to us after you've watched it. If you feel the need, like me, and like that punishment of listening to other people talk about it and being spoiled, stay with us and listen and have fun, and then look for things that we talk about, because I like doing that at times. And it's like, oh, well, I kind of differ on my opinion as I'm watching it. And I usually do that I'll say it out loud or whatever, who was around me, and they're like, what are you talking about? And then I just have a good time with it. A lot of people like the ideas of not being spoiled, and I understand that completely. But
some other people find comfort in knowing what's going to happen next.
Same here. Yeah, because you want to know what you're going to get into. And I've done that with other films that I've gone to see in the theaters, because I've seen spoiler stuff on it. And it's like, oh, the movie already came out. I missed it. But what were their takes? And it's like, oh, this is spoilerful. I was like, okay, well, this is their ideas and their thoughts. And then I come out going, you know what? That's their thoughts. I came in either in between or better from it, or maybe the opposite, and saying, yeah, that was total trash. And I've had that, moment every once in a while. And honestly, we all have our opinions and we're all allowed it. And keep in mind, these are our opinions. You don't have to agree with us. You could tell us in feedback saying, no, I don't agree with both of you. It sucked, or I didn't like where the episode or the story went. But with that, we're going to move forward into it. Discussion of season 5. What did you think as a whole, though, Jayme, of season 5?
Well, we haven't finished season.
Not
episode
season 5, episode 5. Sorry. My brain is scatterbrained. So
I
yeah,
understand completely. I thought episode 5 was really good. We got closure on the previous episode.
yes,
It was beautiful. And then we learned a whole lot of new stuff about Morpheus / Dream.
yeah. I found it interesting and intriguing because throughout these 2 episodes combined, we got to learn a lot more about Morpheus. But I honestly feel that I saw that we've seen him grow a bit.
Yes,
And-
we've seen him. That comes into play. That's discussed more, I think, in episode 6 when he's talking with his brother.
Yeah, but we see him going through the emotional changes.
Yeah, and we
And
get
that's
to
not
see
something you get to see out of Dream at all, really.
Yeah, we get to see who he was back in the ancient Grecian time
Mm-hmm.
compared to who he is now.
Yeah. I have some notes. It starts off literally with him talking to Lucian about destruction. And in Dream stating that he really does not know his brother or who destruction is. And I think this is kind of his journey into learning who his brother is, because later on by episode 6, we do find out who he is, why he is, and what he was and why he was hiding. And with this, the funeral with Dream.
But I mean, even before we get to the funeral,
Okay.
like when he looks back at destruction leaving
Yes.
and they're talking about the atom bomb, that gave me chills.
Yeah, he knew where everything was going and he didn't want to be that person.
Yeah,
Or being, I should say.
yeah,
That person.
like because he didn't want to be the one responsible for humanity's destruction.
Yeah. He showed that he had a conscience and a feeling for people, which is very much human based. But these are technically gods in certain ways. And for a god to do that and turn away and then abandon everything based upon what they are. If you think about it, destruction is destruction.
Yeah, that's his realm. And he points it out later that it doesn't need him. It goes on
Regardless.
just fine without him.
Yeah.
He knew it was going to continue. As you say, we are coming to the age of fire and flame.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't want to be a part of it. And I don't necessarily blame him.
No, I don't blame him either. It's kind of like Ares, the Greek god of war, stating,
Yeah.
I'm walking away from war.
Yep.
And we
Yeah.
do get a lot of Greek within these 2 episodes, too.
Yeah, I love how Gaiman ties in stories you already know
Mhm.
into his story. It makes it feel more real. It makes the world feel bigger and more realized.
Yes.
It's impressive because, later in the episode, all of the Greek characters are ones we know from Greek mythology.
Yep, that is true. And they're just represented differently and named differently. And in this case, I think we get the original Greek name.
We get the original Greek name of a bunch of the Endless, and I didn't write it down. I made myself a note to look up the Greek names of the Endless, and I can't find it.
I only have a couple.
Okay.
So I only have a.
So we got Death. We got Morpheus's name.
Mhm.
I know we got those 2. And there were 1 or 2 more. I don't, like I said, I made myself a note to look it up and then it wasn't there.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, what the? I didn't write that down.
Yeah.
But as we
before we
talk,
get
I'm
into the
probably
Greek-
going to be researching that and then I'll bring it up halfway through. How's that?
Yeah. I did some quick researching of it and couldn't find it. But
Really?
yeah. Like I said, I didn't dig too deep into it. Before we move, just totally skip over because I feel like it's very important. Should we discuss Wanda / Alvin's funeral?
Yes, because that's what I was starting to talk
Yeah,
about
and
when
then
you
I
wanted
pulled
to
us back
talk
a
about.
little bit.
But it's fine. It's fine. The funeral was there because, they're taken away at this point by death. And it's a conversation between them and death at this point. And the way they thought of their life was they were just a vessel and they were happy at being who they were more than anything. And Dream changing that on the tombstone with the original name because apparently it's not what they wanted
Well, yeah,
originally.
like they do a good job with the aunt. The aunt has been raised to believe that Wanda should be Alvin. And the aunt loved Wanda and loved her the best she could. And maybe given more time, she would have learned more and would have learned better. But they have her talking to Dream and, basically saying, Dream can't understand why they made Wanda into Alvin for the funeral. And the aunt says, well, this isn't for, the funeral isn't for Wanda. The funeral is for the family. And
Yes.
the family knew Alvin. The family didn't know Wanda. The aunt that he spoke with was the only one who knew Wanda,
Which
which
was sad.
it's sad. But there is this, again, this falls in that weird gray zone. Because my mom always told me, funerals are not for the dead, they're for the living. That struck with me. But I loved it when the aunt asked, she said, Alvin wasn't happy here. I know Alvin wasn't happy here.
Yeah.
But she asked, was Wanda happy? And Dream answered, she was entirely herself at all times.
No matter what version of them they were.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That
Wanda,
was
Wanda
my
definitely went
feeling
by,
about it.
yeah. And Wanda went by she, her. Like Wanda, and they had a good moment. Like, we can find a lot of fault in the aunt, but we can also find some understanding where she was trying. Like, she did love Wanda. She loved Wanda for who she was, but she also wasn't going to start a fight with the whole family, with the rest of the family over it.
It kind of resembles what happens in modern day with everybody who transitions
Yeah.
with transgender. And honestly, a lot of people don't accept things like that. I actually had to have a conversation today about somebody I used to work with that transitioned from being female to male and how they changed their name. And somebody who I worked with never met that person. And I said, well, their name was with a K. And when they transitioned from female, it went from K to literally the name K as a male. And they're like, so I said, they were a nice person overall. I really enjoyed their company. They're really good people. And they didn't, it was coming from somebody who's younger than myself who doesn't understand that. Maybe because I've been around the LGBTQ community for over 30 some odd years and I still get things wrong, but I do understand how to explain it and accept the person for who they are, not what they are.
Yeah.
And that's what it all matters to them.
I have an aunt. Let's just go with more educated than the aunt in this.
Okay.
Show just understands better, and granted also is a bit older than the aunt in the show and has lived longer and has gotten to experience more things. And one of her grandchildren is trans. And, I know my aunt to be a very religious person.
Mhm.
And, I asked her, I was like, how are you feeling about all of that? She's like, I've lost enough babies and grandbabies, like through accidents, miscarriages, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
She's like, I just want them to be happy. I don't care how it is. And I
Yes.
love them no matter what. And I just want them to be happy.
That's all that matters.
The grandparents on the other side are not as understanding.
Yeah.
So and my aunt was like, I just can't understand how you would cut your grandchild out of your life for something that doesn't really change them. Like, she's like, my grandchild is my grandchild, and I love them no matter what, and I've always said it, and I mean it. And so that, I think if Wanda had more time to speak with her aunt and show her aunt more things, I think her aunt would have been a little different at this time.
Yeah.
But I think her intentions were good. I don't hold any ill will against the aunt. Maybe
Same
the
here.
parents, parents
Yeah,
might have been,
yeah.
parents were problematic, but we didn't talk to them. Like, I like how they dealt with this, that we just talked to the aunt.
Yeah, you got that side of the story at least.
But then the aunt suggests that Dream hang in the back.
Oh yeah.
And not
you disturb people, sir.
like, well, just you're a part of that other world. Like,
yes,
I'm glad
and
you're
she
here,
knew.
but don't remind the other people.
Exactly.
Which is, and then when Death comes in, and Death is like, it's not right. What they're doing to Wanda is not right. You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have the whole discussion about, he feels so bad that she's dead because of him.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I can't bring her back. That's just not how this works. Like,
yeah. And this, which unfolds into the story that we do get the nitty gritty, that Dream is more or less more involved with. And before we even get into that, we get all this weird stuff coming out from Delirium.
Yeah. So after Dream changes the headstone, and he leaves the book. I thought that was sweet.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Now, I liked that because in the comic, it's just somebody uses lipstick and writes Wanda across the Alvin.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
But I like this permanent change to Wanda.
To the actual gravestone itself.
Yeah, I thought that was really,
that was good taste.
Yeah. But after we change the headstone, we go into Delirium's world. And that was like, Dream is like, hey, she locked her world in, like, I can't get in. And Death is like, brother. And just basically like picks up a rock and throws it, and it, reality crashes and we end up in Delirium, which I thought was like just a cool metaphor, like how thin the veil is. And Delirium is still like borderline mental illness, or showing kind of mental illness sometimes.
Schizophrenic, if you think about it.
Well, I mean, maybe. I'm not as well versed in that stuff as I should be. But just like the imagery of how thin the veil is between quote unquote reality and mental illness. Yeah. I thought that was just really cool.
Yeah, it is. And he didn't know how to break that veil. That's the whole thing. And Death goes, brother, geez, I'll just toss it your way.
How much the siblings depend on each other for different things is very cool, though. I enjoy that part of it. Like, it's a true sibling relationship.
But we never saw this before in the previous season, whereas before, Dream was always avoiding his siblings. Now he's
always been... He and Death have always had a bond. Like, they were hanging in the park together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he and Death have always...
They had a good rapport together as siblings.
Yeah, and
but his other
Destruction obviously cared about him, because he did come and talk to him. Like, I think it's...
We'll get to that. There's a moment in time when he does talk to him about it. But when we get into Delirium's world, we get into it where he's going on a New York City subway at a certain point, and it's like industrial and techno club music going on, and him being touched and turned and by men, women, everything, and him being like whatever and just walking through everything. Well, and at one point, Dream was actually at a point where he was close to kissing somebody. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah, no, that was his wife.
Yes,
that he had sent. I'm totally blanking on her name.
Same here.
Nada.
That was supposed to be Nada.
I believe that was supposed to be Nada. And the way Delirium was watching, the way I took it was a test of Delirium. Was he coming to see her, or was he going to go and help her find Destruction, or was he really just searching for Nada? So once he pushes her away,
That is Delirium's
trusts him more.
Yeah. It's her way of like, this is a test for my brother to see if he's here for me to have me help him or whatever. And then he proceeds.
That's why once he pushes her away, she
keeps moving forward in the cars.
She turns into that wisp of colored smoke.
Yes, but he keeps moving into the cars, though.
Yes.
If you think about it, of the subway train. And then he winds up talking to her in the grass, and he tells her...
It looks like Central Park.
Yeah, literally. I wouldn't be surprised if they did film there, but... Yeah, and then
an idealized Central Park, but it had some imagery. It was definitely still like New York City imagery. Yeah.
And then he asks her if she is amiable to go forth with the journey together. And she says yes.
But with the stipulation of not hurting anyone.
Yes.
And also her sundial stopped working.
Which is a timepiece, everybody.
But it's a timepiece that only doesn't work when the sun doesn't move.
That is true.
I thought that was an interesting little... My sundial stopped working.
And with that, we the other siblings will not help Dream. That was something that Delirium stated, and that was just to look for destruction himself. And then they turn to Destiny. Destiny warns them of what they're doing, but Dream has a promise that he intends to keep, apparently.
Yeah. I like how they transition to Destiny too, like where we see him walking through his garden as the words are being written in his book that Dream and Delirium are talking about. Like, that was beautiful. That was absolutely gorgeous. And it was straight out of the comic also.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah.
I just love Destruction telling the stories to his dog who could speak.
Love Barnabas.
Barnabas is so cool.
And he's so funny.
And I just love how Barnabas states that Destruction's work is doggerel. But, then Destruction winds up telling Barnabas about how his family is. Like, he just warns of them to him.
Yeah, he had the one line, like, I don't dream. It wouldn't do to give too much away.
Yeah, I know.
So he's got to stay away from his brother.
Yeah. He's too powerful with that, with his dreams.
Yeah, he can be found by his brother.
Yep. And I love how Destiny actually states to Dream that he needs an oracle.
Yeah. And I mean, we see Destiny's realm, which is cool. So we've seen dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of dreaming.
Correct.
We've seen desire influencing the waking world.
Yes.
And we've seen a little bit of despair's world. Like
a bit. Yeah, a little bit.
So, and now we've seen
Destiny's
and Delirium, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. Like we're like watching it expand, seeing where they live. It's just and I love like the druidish feeling of Destiny's realm, like with the garden and the castle, like the rock castle that's kind of falling but not quite, and it just feels very druid. And plus, especially with him with his
cloak,
like it all fits.
He looks like a Roman druid.
Yep,
literally, and the Roman ruins behind him, and the greenery and everything else. Yeah. That's what I got out of it.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was cool.
To be more godlike, in a sense, almost similar to the Greek gods. And, mind you, listeners, I do have a little bit idea and names for these Greek names that they give the Endless. So I looked it up, and it says in Neil Gaiman's The Sandman, the Endless each have Greek names reflecting their nature. So Destiny is Patmos, Death is Talut.
Yeah, that one gets mentioned several times.
Dream is Onirius. Destruction is Alethros. Desire is Epithumia. Despair is Aponoia. Aponoia, maybe?
I should have called my friend Dula how to pronounce these things for me.
And Delirium is Mania. So that's what I was able to get out of that. But we will be getting more of this as we go more into the episode, because a lot of Greek feeling is found within these two episodes. So, yeah. And with that, the Oracle apparently is part of the family, and it apparently is Dream's son, where it kind of segues into a wedding.
Yes, 1700 BC Greece.
Yes. And now Dream knows what he has to do. Everything seems to lead to his own child, his son. And his son is named Orpheus.
Yep.
And it's his wedding day. And and I found it odd. Destiny would not state anything to him once the family was there, to Orpheus. Because Orpheus kept asking questions about his future and everything. And Destiny was resident about that.
I am Destiny. I do not wish. I know what will happen and what must happen.
Yeah. But Death was there for the wedding and stayed. Well, everybody else left. All the other Endless had left at that point, except for Morpheus.
Yeah. So we have the Endless giving Orpheus their nephew / son, depending on who you're talking to, their well wishes. Or is it Delirium says many marriages end in misery. Oh, happy. I just wrote down Deliriums and Destructions, which I also are Destinies. And I mean, the story of Orpheus that we get here is almost word for word the Greek myth, minus like it's perfect. It's a tragic love story. He's a musician and poet. And yes, he does marry Eurydice. But so we see, the Endless wishing their nephew well. Then the actual Greek wedding happens, and then the rest of the family leaves except Death and Dream.
Yeah, but did you notice how they were all dressed? The Endless. They were dressed.
They look so good.
It's like, even what was it? Was it Despair? Oh, forgetting. Oh, Desire. You know how Desire is always so.
They looked amazing.
They look great, amazing in their tunics and gowns and everything. It was amazing. I was like, oh my god, they look great.
Yeah, fancy wedding clothes.
Yeah, for that time too.
Yeah, I loved I was like, oh, the whole family's at the wedding and looking awesome. It was my actual notes.
But Orpheus on his wedding night finds out what Destiny was.
And we knew, like,
you kind of felt it was going to happen.
If you didn't know the Greek myth, it is a very, very heavy-handed foreshadowing where Morpheus says to Death, the others left, and she said yes, they had things to do. And she said,
why are you here?
Well, basically, he's like, well, I'm glad you stayed or whatever. And she's like, I also have things to do, which means somebody's about to die. Correct. And we know it's not going to be Orpheus, a minor character. We don't know, like, if you don't know the myth or you haven't read the comic or whatever, but it is a very, very heavy-handed foreshadowing that Death is hanging out for a specific reason.
Yeah.
And then we see the lovebirds go off to dance in the moonlight to the bride's demise.
Yeah. She's bitten by a snake.
Yes.
Deadly snake bite. And she dies. And then we get the whole Morpheus talking to his son, which didn't do well. He is not a good dad. He doesn't know how to talk to his own son.
Yeah, he's just very cold.
Yeah.
And he's almost as factual and unfeeling as Destiny.
Correct. And he wasn't at a time where he can actually explain to him what has happened. So I think that all narrows down to Morpheus experiencing life for himself and love. And he hasn't experienced it yet to some degree.
He's created a son.
He has created a son, but that
he
doesn't
had
mean
previously
anything.
Had a wife.
Yes.
And then created a son with this other.
But it seems with these gods or these Endless, they don't grow effectively emotionally fast enough. Mentally.
They're around for a very long time. They don't have to
And-
do it in 70 years.
Correct. So it's like you're playing catch up at this point, decades and centuries later at a certain point. So he wasn't he wasn't there to explain everything that had happened, why it happened. Orpheus wanting to his wife in the afterlife back and asking about Hades and Persephone to make some sort of an agreement to get her back. And Dream basically tells him, "I'm not going to help you." And it's like basically it's like, wow, how could you do that to your only son, as we know so far? How many children does Dream have, honestly?
But that's the point, is this is how we see him grow. We see him go from this character, if you told him he was being cold, he wouldn't understand it.
Yeah.
This is just who he is.
He's playing Kirk Cameron in Growing Pains, but as an endless or god at this point. It's really sad, but it takes him like decades and centuries to get there. And that was hard to see. And then Destruction talking to Orpheus before, him wanting to commit suicide or something to go to where Hades and Persephone are, to get there, to vie for them to bring back his wife, because him stating that I'm a son of an endless, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, well, sing for us.
Well, but before he goes there, we see another realm. We see Death's
Oh, that's
house.
right. Yes. It's a future. He doesn't even know how to control
He's
a record
so confused.
because it shows that death works within time. I think that's what I had in my notes at one point, and I just kind of lost them. But death is around for endless amounts, and it goes throughout time. Because you see books on the shelf that are ancient. You have...
I forgot what song was playing. It was like some 50s rock and roll music. And Orpheus is intrigued by the music.
Orpheus was like definitely intrigued. He didn't know what it was, and he was like, "What is this?" And then he lifts up the needle on the record, and she's like, "Oh, okay."
And there's goldfish. I don't know why, but the goldfish.
Oh yes,
that just tickled me.
She had to have something around.
Yeah. And then the way to the underworld is, of course, her basement. I mean, why wouldn't it be? You open up her basement door from this, very modern house. Oh, I don't know if it's super modern. Let's say 50s, 60s-ish modern. And then you go down to this ancient basement, which is so fitting. And that's the way to get to the underworld, is the basement of Death's house.
Yeah. And Death being Tolut, because that's how he addresses her, because that's how he knows her, and that's her name as Death. And she basically sends him on his path to go down to the underworld.
Yeah, well, she makes a deal with him that if you're going to go, you have to be immortal now. You will never die. And we all know that is a curse, and he finds it to be a curse much more quickly than others who've been granted
exactly.
that gift. And we see the three witches, the kindly ones.
I call them the three fates in Hades.
Yeah, they call them the kindly ones. It's the maiden, the crone, and the...
Can I look it up real quick? We got to give you that information, everybody.
Yeah. Sorry, the loudmouth cat busted into the room and started
Mildred,
screaming.
Mordred, and Cynthia? Is that them?
That might be their names, but it's the maiden,
yep,
the mother, and the crone.
Correct. Yeah, I just got that up myself. But apparently I got their real name. Their real names. Mildred, Mordred, and Cynthia.
And they are the kindly ones.
Yeah. They're triumvirate, as they call it. Triumvirate. You're right. Thank you. Thank you for correcting me. The triple goddess, as they say, apparently, and are not three distinct entities, rather than they are the triumvirate and the triple goddess. Okay. So that's what it is explained based upon Wikipedia within Sandman lore from the comic. So just to give you an idea of what it is and how it's explained.
And it also finds its way in other occult
There
There's
are
other
other
mythology
mythologies
or-
because they have
with
three
with
witches.
them,
I've seen it
yeah.
in Beastmaster where you have three witches. Remember, they were all hideous and ugly. One had the eye, and they all shared the eye. That was, I'm talking about a fantasy film, but they kind of took it from. I think it's part of the Greek history as well.
Yeah, and it's pagan
Yes, it
as
is.
well.
But yeah, he shows up, and then out of the blue, after he does meet the Fates, or as I call them,
He
yeah,
goes
he gets past them, and then he's looking for Hades himself, and there they are. They're huge.
Yeah, Hades and Queen Persephone, like the underworld, the river Styx, it
It was
was
amazing
gorgeous.
to look at it, but they were so huge.
The blue glowy lights of souls, like yeah, they were giant. It was stunning. It was
Something
absolutely
like
gorgeous.
out of Jason and the Argonauts, if you remember the big huge statues on either side of the river thing. Is
Yeah.
I know I'm dating myself. I'm watching older movies that our friend Jerry likes to watch, like I do. But when we covered that on Adrenaline Cinema podcast. But the thing is it's so amazing to see in this visage because the CGI in this was done very well. The backgrounds are amazing, and they're talking down to Orpheus at this point, and he says, "Well, sing for us." And he hesitates, but then he sings about his wife and his love and how she died. Literally,
Yeah.
this was not planned. This is just from the heart.
But it was
amazing.
Gorgeous.
If I could play it, it would be great, but I can't. But it was amazing to listen to and witness because I was like, wow, they really delved deep into the story. And it was really not that bad for somebody who didn't come prepared. And it was all sung in Greek too. If you watch it on Netflix, you got the subtitles. So it gives you the, English translation within it, but I thought it was great. And I was listening to it and reading at the same time. They call him son of Onirius, which is dream, and they refuse to give him what he desires, but yet he pleads with them. They allow it.
Well, yeah, because he's asking for things that are against nature, for lack of a better term.
It is against nature. It's like literally, I want you to bring my wife back to life, even though right now I'm immortal and then I'm in your realm. Because at this point, I don't think they realize it, but they have some sort of perception about it. And but after he pleads with them, they allow it, but he has to take a path with his wife behind him, and he cannot turn around at any given point, not look back at her or where they came from, no matter what.
He can't go off the path. He cannot seek, speak, or look back until the sun shines on both of them.
And they were literally...
And then he reiterates, do not look back.
Yeah.
As Orpheus starts his... But then what happens? Just as they get to the end. They
literally were just moments away from walking out. They see the light. He goes, I could see the light. And then he hears her talk. And then he looks back. And he sees her for just a moment. And then she's pulled away.
And now he has to live forever, literally.
Yeah, and it's a sad. All because he didn't do what he was told from Hades and Persephone.
Yeah.
And Orpheus's mother stated that she left Morpheus at a certain point after this.
Yeah. Didn't know that. I guess they can get divorced.
Apparently. And now obviously she's human, everybody.
Well, I think she's Calliope.
Yes, she is.
So she's not quite human.
Which is so funny, too, because we had an episode last season called what?
Calliope.
There you go. So apparently the sisters of Ulysses and the clan of Dionysus are coming for him now. It's what his mother warns him about.
That was crazy.
So he has to leave. But now he is immortal. So he's literally taken apart by the daughters, and Morpheus sees his head on the shore at the end. The rage killing happened against him multiple women coming after him.
Oh, that was terrifying and awesome and gory and yeah.
Yeah, and all you see is Morpheus coming to the shore, picking up Orpheus's head. But you have to realize he's still immortal. So he's still talking.
Yep.
And then all Morpheus could do is leave him with priests to care for him off a different island. And with that, Orpheus is pleading with Morpheus to kill him, and Morpheus refuses. And it's so sad.
Yeah.
And now he has to live this way forever as a head.
And the thing is, he's the Oracle, because like when we first meet him, he's telling his dad, "Hey, I had this premonition." Well, I had this weird dream, which ended up being a premonition of his future, his wife dying.
Mm-hmm.
So that now we know that his head, because that's all that's left, is the Oracle.
Yes. He literally became what Destiny had told him in some way, or what they told Morpheus to look for. Oh, but yeah, and it ends on that note. But the reason why Morpheus can't kill him because the Endless are forbidden to take any family blood, apparently.
Yes.
So that was the reason why everybody that Morpheus couldn't do what he had to do.
So we're watching this, and my boyfriend looks over at me and goes, "Damn, Dream is one petty bitch."
Tony knows how to break it down.
Yeah.
The only thing I have in my notes is the needle drop that we do get within this particular episode. And that is on the subway scene with Dream as he walks through all the whole debauchery following Delirium. And the song is entitled Say It by Madeux, Madeux. So if you guys want to check that out, look it up. You can find it on YouTube or probably whatever is found on Spotify, because I'm pretty sure there's a Sandman Spotify playlist somewhere.
I'm sure there is. And I have one note.
Yep.
That we didn't discuss, and that is Delirium was once Delight. She wasn't always Delirium.
Correct. Yeah. That's interesting. Because she's so peppy, though. If you think about it, she still has that pepness, even as Delirium.
Yeah, but she wasn't always
this way.
Yeah.
I'm
she
curious.
Was once Delight, so we've got to what happened.
Yeah, I'm curious. We still got till the end of the season, everybody. And keep in mind, new episodes have dropped, everybody, as we're trying to follow up and finish off where we left off. And we'll be continuing this 2 episodes at a time. So keep up with us if you can. But I only have a couple of quotes from this particular episode. Do you have any, Jayme?
Yes. The very beginning of the episode, Dream is talking to Lucienne and about destruction, and he says, "I think he tried to tell me once, but I did not listen, nor did I hear." And that right there shows how much progress he has made, because the dream of whenever destruction left would not have admitted to that.
His ignorance. Yeah.
Yeah. Or his failing, or his not doing the right thing. Like, and I love that. Like, I did not listen, nor did I hear. Because there is a difference between hearing and listening. And I thought that was really good.
Yep. Well, I only have 2. I don't know if you have any more.
Yeah, I don't know how much when Delirium puts her makes herself more quote unquote normal and puts her eyes, one color. I don't know how much more I can be like this. It hurts very muchly.
Interesting.
Like, it hurts her to try and be normal. And then Dream of the past would have been like, well, if you want me to hang out with you, you got to be normal. But this Dream was like, well, then stop. Don't do it on my account. Like, I love you for who you are. Be yourself. Like, I thought, like, there's just so many signs of how much he's grown and changed. It's really, and it's well done because it's just like little details sprinkled in instead of like, huge things. It's really cool.
That's cool. What do I have here? I have two quotes. One's from Dream to Orpheus about his dream, Orpheus's dream, and Dream stating, "Am I a hedge wizard that I should decipher your dreams for you? Dreams are composed of many things: images, hopes, fears, memories of the past and the future. Dreams are subject to interpretation." Now, it sounds like Dream was trying to be a psychologist or a therapist at this point, which makes me laugh. Lastly, would be Destiny to Morpheus and Delirium, saying, "For those that seek destruction will surely find it." Meaning that eventually they will find destruction. That's about it.
That's what I got.
All right.
All right, let's move on to episode 6, Family Blood.
Ooh.
That sounds ominous.
Yeah, right.
And we start out with Joanna Constantine.
Yeah, which we haven't seen for a very, very long time.
Episode 1, season 1.
Hmm.
Did we see her past that? Did she make it to episode 2?
I think so.
But at the very beginning of season 1.
Yeah, I remember that.
Um,
We did see her a couple of times. I know that.
yeah. But like once I saw her, I was like, oh yeah, she's got powers. Maybe she could kill Orpheus. Because
Yeah.
Dream says, like, if I have to ask something of my son, I have to give him a boon. And the only thing he wants in this world is to not be part of it anymore.
Correct. So give somebody else the burden of dealing with someone's son, literally.
So that was my thought. Didn't turn out that way, but that was my thought.
Yeah. I love how he still asks if she thinks that he's still a demon.
Like we're in Paris. And
what year was this? It had to be in the late 1800s.
Yeah, because we've got Paris did pretty good about getting rid of their evil.
Yeah.
Overthrowing poor governments. They still take that very seriously. Like that's pretty impressive with them. But like the head in the bag, she's like, you don't expect what I have in my bag.
Nope.
They're like, I love. It's like she came up with the story on the spot. That was awesome.
Yeah, I just found it funny how they wind up taking her in though, and to prove everything. Where is it? Oh yeah. There was a couple of scenes with Morpheus and talking to Constantine about his son that I really did enjoy. She telling him what he had already heard before about wanting to die from Morpheus. And she says he's more alive than anyone she ever met.
Yes.
And he literally offered to sing for her, which he did not, but Morpheus was concerned and wanted to hear his son singing at some point. He was like, "My son sang for you? He didn't do that for me."
Yeah, I like they have like
the surprise on his face was so interesting though.
Yeah.
Sturge was really perfect on it and executing that look of like, what?
Yeah, and I liked how much like Orpheus gets a friend. We seem like he hasn't had one.
Yeah. And he sees that in Joanna Constantine, or Constantine. The way
Yeah.
they pronounce it is so funny.
But I like how we got a little bit of explanation
Hmm?
where, when they they cut the ear off to get the earring.
Yes.
And he's like, she's like, I'm sorry about your earring. And he's like, it'll come back to me. It'll bring him nothing but sadness and misery. And it'll make its way back to me. It always does. He's like, this is not the first time it's been stolen.
Yeah, because he knows his father.
At this point, he's been around for thousands of years. And then she asks if the ear will grow back. And he's like, no, otherwise I would have had a body again by now. But we get a little bit of explanation in a quick, funny way.
Yeah,
that makes perfect sense. It's not being hit over the head with it, but it's a little, just
you're
really
immortal.
Good way to build the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're immortal, but your body is what it is.
Yeah, and it's like not an immortal from Highlander, everybody, where there can be only one and you chop the head off and they're done. No, his head still lives on. Unfortunately, he's like Headpool from Deadpool. Like just the head talking.
Just the head. Yeah.
And the body is nowhere to be found because either A, the women consumed and ate it, or they buried it somewhere where it cannot come together again. Because you would have to think if all the parts were able to come back together, maybe they could form a human again. I'm not asking if they could, 5 lion bots turn into one big robot. I'm just saying that is it a possibility? Will we ever see that in the show? Probably not, but it is a fantasy. And I would love to think that Orpheus would be able to come back completely, but we don't get that answered right away.
Yeah.
At all. Or I don't think we ever will do because I don't know.
I did just look it up, and this was during the 18th century French Revolution.
Okay.
With King Louis the
Third?
6th.
Damn.
Sorry, I had to do my Roman numeral. Remember my Roman numerals. And in case I did it wrong, it's XVI. So let me know if I messed that up. Yeah.
XVI is the 16th.
That's what I said, the 16th.
Oh, I thought you said the 6th. Okay.
No, 16. I said 16th.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. Too many.
So, that's too many Louis. Think of another name, guys. Come on. But that is the period of time that we're in at this point.
Okay. That's cool.
Just in case anybody was wondering.
I was wondering too, because it made sense because of what we get at the very end.
Yeah, it looked like the time period. I just wanted to triple check.
It looked like that because what we get at a gravesite, but we won't get into that until later.
Yeah.
But my concern was within this this part of it, Morpheus has long hair during that time in the 1800s.
He has always styled himself
for the time
period.
And is he moving through time is my question.
He's endless. He is time.
Okay. All right. So
he's at the
he's being fashionable, everybody. So he's growing his hair and getting the right garb on.
I mean, he has the ability to make himself look like whatever he wants, whatever would fit.
That is true because he did that with
Nada. He projected himself as a black man. With the cats, he projects himself as a cat.
Correct.
And you see, it's done a lot more in the comic where people talking to him are seeing
what they want to see.
Yeah, not the pale emo guy that we see, but some projection that makes sense to them.
Yeah, exactly.
So just, being in with the times totally fits the character. And we saw it when he went back to hang with Shakespeare. He was wearing period costumes. And when he goes back, whenever we see him go back, he wears period costumes and hair. Like he's always done that.
Yep.
I would like to be very happy that we did not have smell-o-vision for this episode because that pile of rotting heads must have stunk to high heaven. Yeah,
Constantine having to wait through all the sea of heads to get to Orpheus for Robespierre. and then picking up Orpheus and telling him to sing. And then he sang of freedom, and it was so powerful that the dead joined him to sing it. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. That like his power of song was awesome.
Yeah, I really did enjoy that. There were
Me
certain
too.
moments between both episodes that I truly enjoyed. This was one of them.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And then she
Man.
was able to get Orpheus back to the island that Morpheus pointed out, which was dedicated to. And he was already comfortable with it. You know, Orpheus was like very comfortable with the idea. It was pretty much where he was born. There was already a kinship with the people that were there, and a mutual respect and possible affection between all of them. And I thought it was definitely a sweet moment.
Yeah, and Joanna asked to be able to see him,
Yes.
which is sweet.
Yeah. But I have to grant it to the people that created this episode, how wonderful the landscapes were, the visuals within it because of Greece, even with, you know, France and how it looked during its time. The sets were amazing, whether they be virtual or not. I thought they were amazing. And the music was good too.
Yeah, no, they've done such an amazing job with this.
Yeah, they
It's
definitely-
visually stunning.
They should have put out a soundtrack, but I don't think that's happening.
Does anybody put out soundtracks that much anymore?
No, but majority of stuff comes from people ripping it and just putting it there out there on Spotify. Usually everything is through streaming, but you can technically purchase certain things. So if you go to a convention now and then, you might find somebody who is out there who's thrifty and crafty and making vinyl, limited
Yeah.
edition to their own. Who knows?
Yep.
So apparently there was a grave stone for
Joanna Constantine.
dated born 1760 and dead at 1859. It was kind of like,
And King Louis was killed in 1793.
Yep.
So, yep, perfect. Absolutely that time.
but the question I have is, did she really die? Or is this something that
Yeah,
we'll find
so-
out later?
In the comic, in the beginning where we see Joanna Constantine, it was John Constantine. John Constantine
Correct.
in the comic.
Correct.
In the comic, Joanna is in the comic, but in this point, a great grandmother or whatever of his.
So,
So,
they're
yes,
probably
she is.
reversing this.
So yeah, so the one we saw before is a descendant of the one we saw currently.
So the Joanna that we see later on, later
assuming- I mean-
on season 1,
Yeah,
if we think about it, yeah, listeners, you have to go back in time to season 1 when we first met Joanna
I
Constantine.
believe that's supposed to be a
It was-
descendant.
It was supposed to be a descendant of Joanna
Yeah,
Constantine.
and a descendant of John Constantine as well.
So I wouldn't put it past if we were able to get a season 3,
Which we're not.
which we're not, but you could always read everybody.
Yeah, they're packing a lot into this season because they know it's ending.
Well,
So
they didn't
Yeah.
know at the time when they finished filming it. But
so now we're back to modern day on Orpheus's island.
yep.
And Delirium is talking about disgusting ice cream flavors that no one has even thought to dream up.
I have those in my quotes. If you want me to quote it, I'll do it now. It's hilarious.
Go for it.
All righty. Where did the quotes go?
I just wrote the flavors, so I have the flavors if you can't find
Oh,
it.
here we go. Here we go. She goes, have you ever spent days and days and days making up flavors of ice cream no one's ever eaten before? Like chicken and telephone ice cream? And Dream goes, my sister, Delirium goes, green mouse ice cream was the worst. I didn't like that at all. I get things wrong most of the time. Green mouse ice cream. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that cracked me up.
But it's their way of making and having conversations and them getting together and talking together and Dream tolerating, but also spending time with Delirium that he didn't even do before. And I think it was a brother and sister kind of thing that they had to do together. So she was there kind of a distractant for him to get back to his son to go through these things. And the scene that we do get when Dream arrives to the temple, as it were, on this island.
And he has guns drawn on him.
Yep.
I
Guarded
love-
by people.
I love that we see the evolution of the guarding.
Yes.
How'd you get here? We followed the path. There is no path. There is for me. He's my son. Oh, okay. Come in.
Yeah, and they realized that, like, oh, we know who you are.
Yeah. But I thought that was fantastic. I liked that we modernized them. It wasn't just old guys in cloaks.
No, they're all
anymore.
in dungarees and with a shotgun. And
Yeah. I really liked that.
And I like, too, they ask him at first. It's like they ask him if he's Apollo at first. Yeah. And he goes, no, I'm his father. What? And then he sees what has become of his son, you know, still ahead in the shrine. And then you have Orpheus and Morpheus both say that they are both sorry about things. And it's a mutual understanding between both within conversation, which I really did enjoy. And both have grown. Orpheus had learned about everything through these centuries of living on this earth as a head, and everything that he had stumbled across and made his mistakes about, as well as Morpheus himself. And Morpheus states that he is not worthy of him, and Orpheus can see something has happened, and they have a chat about what has happened. And I thought it was really, really a great scene between them.
And again, we're back to seeing really how each of them has grown.
Mm-hmm.
It was gorgeous.
My favorite scene, though, after that would be Delirium giving the people ice cream.
Before that, I liked a change of scenery, my lord, and they just turn his head to the other window.
Oh, yeah. But Delirium giving the people ice cream, too, is hilarious.
And she's like, don't worry, I let them pick the flavor.
The white rose that Morpheus puts on Constantine's grave was a nice touch.
Yeah, that was really sweet.
It was a tone of respect, and along with Delirium's ice cream cone, too, right there next to the flower. And then apparently we find out that Destruction lives next door on the next island.
I mean, it makes sense. Of course he's right next door, because Death isn't going to go, or not Death. Nobody's going to go visit Orpheus.
No.
It's a perfect place to hide.
Yeah.
Hiding in plain sight, almost. And
Delirium takes affection to, what was it, Barnabas, the talking dog?
Yes. How can you not? He's such a good boy.
And then they see Destruction and they see him, and he's ecstatic to see Delirium, but not so much with Morpheus.
There's a minute. It takes a minute with them. But I loved the big brother, little sister. Like, you've grown. And then he looks at Morpheus and he's like, I think he's grown too. Like, he can sense that there's
something happened and he changed. Yeah,
which is cool.
And it's like stating that they are both different. That was my little comment to that. And then he had made dinner for them. He makes dinner. He cooks. But you could tell that Morpheus is still a little bit distant towards Destruction.
Yeah, and we find out exactly why.
Yeah.
Because Destruction admits to killing the people in the waking world to keep hiding.
Yes.
So he caused Wanda's death,
yes.
and Morpheus is pissed about that.
Yeah.
And I get it. I would be too.
Yeah. But after that whole conversation, they come to a realization, and then Destruction leaves at the end.
For like leaves the planet, leaves.
Yeah. Yeah, but
And they mention other worlds, so he might be in another world. But he is gone. Like, we're not finding him again.
yeah.
But he leaves Barnabas with delirium.
Now she has a doggy. She doesn't have to talk to herself all the time. And then Morpheus
And he
stated
says,
that he
yeah,
was
like-
scared to live in a world without a son, though. That was a realization to him. Then that was a
Yeah.
growing aspect. Yeah, something else.
well, he at one point he says, "I suspect you have grown more than you know."
Hmm. Yeah, well, like I said, these two episodes shown the growth of several characters, not just Morpheus and Delirium, but also Destruction
And Orpheus.
and Orpheus as well.
Um,
The final act, though, is a little bit upsetting, but it was
yeah.
kind of coming
When we go
around to
back-
that.
When we go back to Orpheus's temple, and the way they shot it, I don't know if you picked up on this, but the camera angle was crooked,
Mm-hmm.
which they do to make you unsettled.
Correct.
Like it's a common thing. They do it a lot in horror movies. They turn the camera angle a little bit to make you feel nervous and
That actually
unsettled.
came from the 60s with the Batman, 66, with the villain's lair. Everything was always on a skewed. It's like everybody was on a dip. Yeah.
But I thought that was cool because it wasn't that way before.
No, it wasn't. Everything was kind of level, straightforward, right there.
It's called the Dutch tilt or the Dutch angle. I knew it. I
Yeah.
learned. But yeah, I thought that was well used.
It actually, you know why they call it that? It's kind of the leaning of the head and questioning something that is
Yeah, it's
diabolic.
supposed. Yeah, it's supposed to be like unease, disorient you, give some tension to what's going on, and they used it properly. They used it well.
Yeah, they used it in
Um,
Hitchcock films and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Dream's final act in giving what his son wanted most of all, literally to die. And
Yeah, that was the boon. That was the only boon he wanted. And oof.
and Dream had to kill his own son, destroying his head, which
Oh, and it wasn't
it was bloody.
like literal blood on his hands.
Yeah, that was hard to see because you could
Yeah.
tell the look on Dream's face that he had to do that to his only son, as far as we know. Because he's been around.
It doesn't matter if you have 100 sons. Like, you don't want to kill your child.
No, you don't want to kill your child at all. Yeah, but he was granted immortality, but to live as a head for the rest of for eternity at that point.
And then he just walks out to Delirium and he's like, all debts have been paid
Mm-hmm.
and our journey is at an end.
Yeah.
I like that they even brought up, though, like they mentioned the priests that are there guarding the temple. He's like, I allowed them to choose to go back to a normal life or to stay if that's what they desired.
Yeah,
Like,
that
they're
made
gonna
a lot of
they're
sense.
still going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Even though they're not guarding anything, they're still going to be taken care of for the rest of their lives, which I thought was pretty nice.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And then he goes back to Lucien.
Yeah.
And they have that conversation about what's going on.
And he's struggling to get the blood off his hands.
Yes.
Like it's not washing off easily.
Yep.
Because you're not supposed to spill. One, it adds to the gravity of the situation, and two, you're not supposed to spill endless blood.
Correct.
And then we go to the kindly ones, which was a cute scene.
Yeah.
Oh, cute and
Disturbing.
I don't want to say like because it makes you nervous for what's going to happen.
Yeah, it does.
Because you just see the sisters, the 3-in-1, the triumvirate, the hanging out, knitting, eating some cookies.
Their normal lives.
Yeah. Did you write down the fortune that they got? Because we heard that before in season 1.
No, I didn't write it down.
I started to write. It went too fast, and a king will revoke his crown I can't read that last word.
That was
I
in
wrote.
the beginning of the season.
Yeah. And they even bring it up. There's like, we've heard this one before. Yes, it's familiar.
It's
then-
kind of reiterating what we already knew before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, that was what Destiny actually had stated initially in that first episode, or first 2 episodes, I should say.
But I like that they bring it back up. And they're like, oh, but we've heard this one before.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have it?
Yeah, I don't have it on hand.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. No, maybe not. All right. Thought I had it. I don't. Anyway,
We tried.
at the end of the episode, just rewind, fast forward, or watch the episode again. They'll play it for you. But basically, it hints that Dream's life might be coming to an end.
Yes.
And to just beat that point, but in a beautiful way,
Mm-hmm.
the crone, when she cuts that yarn, it's like ending Dream. Like that was really dramatic, but beautifully done.
Yeah, it's kind of they had things in certain movies where witches or like these mystics would have yarns of like thread, almost like if you look like an abacus, like the thread stretches and it's all a person's timeline, and them cutting it and meaning that they're ending their life. That's what I got out of it, and that representation of Dream himself and where he was going to go. Like he would be ending soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're nervous for what happened now that Dream has gone against the ways things should be.
Yeah.
And Destiny told him, like, when they went to Destiny's like, look, I'm giving you a chance to turn around and go. Like, you should not follow this path. You should go back home, go back to your realm and ignore it.
Yeah.
And leave, or it will be your end. And Dream chooses not to listen.
All right. And that pretty much ends it on that note for the episode, I think. Leaves us off on a cliffhanger, I recall.
Yes. And had we been doing these the time that they were released, there would have been a break, like I think a 4-week break between when this episode aired and the next drop of episodes.
And now the next drop has dropped.
So we don't have to wait.
We don't have to wait.
So at least something good happens from
our little
our delays in getting recording.
Correct. Yeah. So you guys have opportunities to watch this with us. Now, mind you, Netflix drops everything at once.
Yeah. Well, they split it. They did 6 and 6.
They
right?
did 6 and 6, yes, but in this case, we get another 6. So
yeah, and last season they dropped. I think they dropped them all at once, but then after a few weeks, they dropped.
We got Calliope and the other
A Dream of a Thousand Cats.
Yep. And then with this, it worked out for us. But we are going to continue because even though you have all 6 episodes now of the new drop, Jayme and I are going to be covering 2 episodes at a time. So keep in mind when we put out the next episode, and we're going to try to do this weekly and get it out to you. We're going to try to make this a Tuesday night recording session as we planned and not let anything get in the way. So Mark will have to do his homework, due diligence on the weekend, and then be prepared.
Jayme will too.
Matter what, and we will record and hopefully get it to you no later than Thursday. Editing is pretty much simple for me. I've got it, narrowed it down. Both notes for the podcast notes for Podcastica as well as for Panels to Pixels podcast. And most likely I'll have it dropped on Panels first. But always, if you're a Podcastica listener, go listen to Jason's feeds as well. We'll get into it later on how you could actually contact us. So we'll get into
did we kind of jumped a little. Do we have any more notes about this episode, or
I only have one quote left, and that's it. No notes.
I have one quote left too.
What is it?
I just lost it. If you've got yours, tell yours and I'll find mine.
Mine would be from Orpheus to Constantine, stating, "Playing dead is easy. It's actually dying I can't seem to manage."
Yeah, that's a good one. The one I have is from Delirium, talking to Destruction, when he's saying, like I said, she says, "You didn't say goodbye." He's like, "I said goodbye." She's like, "I remember all those words you had falling out of your mouth." She's like, "You said stuff. I just didn't listen to it. It just fell out." Like, I feel like that's something my 5-year-old would say.
Probably, yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
I'll also be like, "Mom, really?"
Yeah. They don't fall out.
Teeth fall out when you're young or when you get extremely old.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Tooth Fairy gets $5 a tooth these days.
Damn.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Damn. Now, if they still continue to make dollar coins, you could do that, and that way she could save them.
No, we like to go to Five Below with our $5. And then mommy gets to pay the tax.
Awesome. All right.
All right.
Well, I think we covered the 2 episodes for Sandman season 2.
I agree.
For episodes 5 and 6. I do have a little bit of interesting news or note about this particular series finale. So apparently Robert Pattinson, his Batman, almost made a small cameo in the Sandman series finale, apparently. And that was through Film Buzzer that I read this. Apparently, because as we all know, and those comic book readers, Sandman initially started on DC.
Yep.
And they had, as we talked and mentioned last season, for when we covered it last season, that when you did comparisons, that they had DC villains and characters in there.
Batman does make an appearance in the Sandman comic.
So I'm pretty sure it had to do with a rights thing. So they, DC has their own thing. Warner Brothers holds the rights. So it would have been a hard stretch because they would have to pay a lot of money.
Yeah. And there's nothing so dramatic that in the comic that Batman needed to be brought to the screen in this, but it would have been cool. A nice little nod to the comic readers, or a nice little Easter egg for other people. I mean, I love Batman. I'm happy to see him in all of his forms.
Yeah.
So it would have been cool, but I understand why it didn't happen, but it would have been cool.
Yeah, same here. All right. We're back to the nitty-gritty towards the end of every podcast recommendations, or where people could hear you.
I'm only doing this podcast, so this is where you can hear me.
That
And your other panels
Invincible.
to Pixels, yeah, and the other panels to Pixels we do Invincible, and then we're slowly, with lots and lots of breaks, working our way through the Friday the 13th series,
and hopefully into the TV series if it comes to fruition. We've been talking about this offline, everybody.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic that it will happen.
Yeah, same here.
But it seems very likely that it has a death curse on it.
It has a death curse.
Oh, we did not plan that out. That was
no,
well
we
didn't. But releasing tonight, and there's a podcast to go with it.
Yep.
Is the new Alien TV show, and I'm too tired to remember the name.
Alien Earth.
Alien Earth. Why did I think it was something much more complicated than that? And Jason and is it Cara and Randy are doing a podcast on it over on Podcastica.
Yep.
And they've got a few they've covered Alien the movie and Aliens the movies
recently
to get prepped for the show. So
they could be found on House Podcastica, those particular
it's
movie coverage.
Waxing Episodic.
Yes.
Is the name of the show. They're killing it. And if you don't have time to watch the two movies before the season starts, as a refresher, just go, because everybody's seen those movies. If you haven't, then you do need to rectify it. But go listen to them, give you a recap so you can remember all the important stuff before you jump into the show.
Or if you are a true comic book fan, you could go back to the source material where it originally stemmed from. Now, mind you, it's going to be very different from the actual series itself because it's based upon the original thought of what Alien 3 was supposed to be, where Ripley, Newt, and Hicks crash land on Earth with alien eggs on there, and then ensues more aliens to sprout on Earth. And then they have to have a task force to take care of it, which Newt, Ripley, and Hicks work at. And it was a limited series, and it came out in 91, 92. And it was something that I had picked up way back when. I haven't read it in a long time, but I remembered it, and I was just like, wow, this is very different. And then Alien 3 came out, and you're like, this is not Alien 3. But yeah, check that out. You can find those comics online, Comixology and stuff like that. You can find them probably on Amazon through digital download, things of that nature. Definitely check out the show. I'm a huge H.R. Giger fan. I'm a huge Aliens fan, Species, the whole thing, the whole 9 yards. I got Alien like artwork from Giger himself. So does Jayme. I have like books signed by H.R. Giger himself, which I shouldn't sell because he's dead.
The way. So I was at Celebration in Japan this year, and when Sigourney Weaver hit the stage, the way I screamed like like someone at the Beatles at Shea Stadium.
So
I was so excited.
She was supporting the show there?
No. She is going to be in the Grogu movie, I believe.
Ooh. Spoilers.
I mean, they put the panel up on the Today Show, so it's not.
Yeah, I know.
It's not a secret.
But even still, that's why I'm saying, is she supporting it for FX or Hulu?
She was there for Star Wars.
Wow, that's amazing though. But even still, she is also in Avatar, and there's a new Avatar movie.
Yeah, it is Mandalorian and Yeah, she's going to be in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie.
Wow. Okay, cool. Awesome.
I screamed so loud. There were bigger names on that stage earlier, but that was the one that I fangirled over. I was so excited.
Awesome. But yeah, check that out. Check the show out. It's on FX and Hulu. I would highly recommend Run for Your Lives. They're coming up with their another anniversary recap of all the movies that they've been covering over the years.
Believe it just came out. So yeah, if
Yeah,
you, I
check
like
that
listening
out.
to the recap because I'm woefully behind on podcasts, but I can listen to the recap and be like, okay, I'm gonna go back and check this one out, or I'm gonna go check this movie out. Like you get a
Yeah,
whole lot of coverage of stuff in a shorter period of time.
yeah. Yeah. Other than that, for Podcastica, check that out there on podcastica.com. You could hear me here, as always, on Panels to Pixels podcast with Jayme, with our continued coverage with Sandman on Sandman Cast, as well as on Podcastica for the Sandman Cast. We finalized our Ironheart coverage on Panels to Pixels podcast with Steve Brown and I. We will be back at the end of August with Peacemaker and continue and going to start that series. And that's going to be episodic, episode by episode. And then following after that will be Gen V. Jayme in the interim in between. Hopefully we'll be getting together and doing Invincible stuff as well. And get that out to you as maybe along with Sandman. We'll see. If not,
Oh, I'm dying to watch the last episode and see how they wrap up this season, but I'm waiting.
She's waiting, everybody. So that means I have to do my homework too. And we could actually dedicate a time, but this is all about scheduling. We just want to give you that time with Sandman because everything just dropped. I could be found also on Adrenaline Cinema podcast, as well as Jayme, when you could hear our past episodes of Friday the 13th, The Goonies. We did a couple of others too. And we're going to continue our coverage with Friday the 13th. We already mentioned it. We're going to do part 6 of Friday the 13th. I already got the doc going. I've actually reached out to a couple of cast members just in case to see if, hey, would you jump on? And
Yeah.
just haven't heard from anybody yet. Usually it's a reply of, no, thank you. But
That's okay. Yeah, but the answer is no if you don't ask.
Exactly. So if I didn't ask, doesn't hurt to try. So you could hear us there. Working on some material that we could do there. Steve Brown and I are going to look to do Lethal Weapon 3. I keep talking about my friend Rob and I are going to do Rad Racing, try to get that underway. The music podcast I'm working on, I have a couple of people in the works. It's just a matter of squaring away scheduling and getting them on there. My friend Jeff Altieri, who is the singer of the band Enrage, a hardcore band out of New York City area, Staten Island, New York, where I came from. He is going to come on for an interview, talk about the history of hardcore, the history of the band, where they are, where they came from, our interactions, our experience in the hardcore scene, how I was exposed to them, stuff like that. And then a couple others I have in the works as well. And then look forward to other stuff that we're looking to do. Frank, Rob, Moda, and Adam Gonzalez and myself are looking to do a comparison podcast about Superman, the Superman movies, the new Superman compared to all the previous iterations that came out over the past years. And we were also looking to do a couple others. I kind of fueled their fire from the guys from Fantasy Picks Movie Edition, so we might get them more on the podcast, whether on Adrenaline Cinema podcast or Pounds to Pixels. But I'm starting them off with Superman. We might do an overall thought because Fantastic Four is out. It's been
I
out
still
for
have to see that.
a while, but we want to give our own proper review of it ourselves and our overall thought. Some of you might not like what Rob has to say at times, but I might be siding with him on this one. I'm not saying I didn't like the movie. I did. I just have certain things that I would like to discuss. And therein, when you hear the podcast when it comes out, you'll know why. Anyhow, that you could find out just by looking for Panels to Pixels podcast, Adrenaline Cinema podcast, or the Pirate Core Entertainment podcast on your players of choice, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And then just look for those other episodes. Other than that, that's about it. The only feedback we got, well, I have to do this because I haven't done any feedback in a long while for all the podcasts. And we got some feedback from our friend Jayme, Maria Granada.
Oh, I didn't see that. Yay.
Okay, so she goes, "Hi, Mark. I've been catching up on podcasts and really enjoyed your podcast on Jaws, which I did with Rob,
Yay.
Frank, and
I was
Adam,
so bummed to miss that one.
and Conquest of the Planet of the Apes." She has to continue. We did those on Adrenaline Cinema podcast, everybody. So she goes, "I love Jaws and your coverage with all your co-hosts. I thought it was great. I was pretty young when it came out, and my mom took us to see Jaws because she wanted us to be scared to go in the water."
My mom wouldn't let me see it when I was young, just so that I wasn't scared to go in the water.
Yeah. She continues on saying, "We lived in Central America and went to the beach often, and I guess we were getting too comfortable in the ocean. I don't remember my reaction much at that time. I'm sure it kept us from going too far into the ocean for a little while. I really enjoy listening to you, Jerry, cover all the Planet of the Apes movies. Trust me, Maria, we're going to continue more. It's just a matter of me, Jerry, getting back on board again. This one I have not seen in a long time. I love Roddy McDowell as both Cornelius and Caesar. I've seen some of it, the newer ones. I do like the James Franco one that started the second trilogy. I agree that I thought that was a good start off to it. I have not seen the latest ones, but the originals are awesome. There was also a TV series at some point too that we do talk about, Jerry and I. Thank you, Maria, for bringing that up. And she continues on and leaves off at saying, "I'm definitely going to rewatch them soon and listen to the podcast again." So thank you, Maria Granada, for
Maria.
giving that. She is a fellow Zhead. So those of you that are not part of Jason Gabassi's Patreon should do so. And that's you could find on podcastica.com, because there's actually a link for Patreon to join. And it doesn't take that much, man. All you have to do is pay a few dollars and you'll be able to listen to, well,
Ad-free.
Yeah, podcasts, rather than listening to Spotify and having all these ads, or, Apple Podcasts or whatever, and get flooded with that. It's nonstop. So, however you listen to your podcast in your travels, when you're driving to work, driving home from work, who knows, or working out. A lot of people have their different things. I know people actually listen to podcasts when they hike. But yeah, you check that out, join it. It's a whole community. That's how I know Maria. That's how Jayme and I know each other. Yeah. And then that's how I started getting into podcasting. That's how we know Ben Beck. Too. So we've been having fun with this.
Tangentially, that's how I met my boyfriend.
You gonna blame Ben for that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. But so for anybody who wants to send in feedback like Maria has, well, literally all you have to do for Podcastica, Jayme, you want to tell them?
Let me write it down. At Podcastica on Twitter, Facebook.com/Podcastica, and Instagram at House Podcastica. And talk at podcastica.com if you want to write an email or send a voice message. Voice messages are lovely. Try and keep them under 2 minutes if possible. We've got time on this podcast if you want to go a little long. And podcastica.com if there's a handy voice message link.
Yep, there is. And for all you panelists out there, even those people that are listening from Podcastica, if you want, you're listening to me and doing my stuff, literally all you have to do is go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/panelstopixels. Follow us. We do put a handy little link of an image of what we're covering. I kind of did this too sooner than later, so we didn't put an image up, but I will be doing this tomorrow as soon as I start editing for the next episode that we're going to be covering, the next two for Sandman. So that way you guys could send some feedback. Go to facebook.com/ Panels to Pixels. We're found on Instagram. What's on Facebook is on Instagram, and that could be on Instagram at Panels to Pixels Podcast. So literally the same thing. Just leave your feedback there. The image will be there, or just message us through those, and we'll still get the messages. You could also email us at panels2pixels1@gmail.com. Panels 2 is spelled out TO, pixels, and the number 1@gmail.com. And you could write out your thoughts, or if you want, just record yourself and send it as an attachment, and we'll play it on the podcast. We can be found on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever podcast player of choice. But obviously with Spotify and Apple Podcasts, there are, ratings and reviews that you could do. We would greatly appreciate if you could do so. 5 stars are always welcome. Also, write out your thoughts too when you do the actual review. That is always helpful for us to be noticed. And actually, this also works with Podcastica as well. So you'll be hearing this probably on House Podcastica's feed. So please do that. Do that. And we could be found on Panels to Pixels Podcast on YouTube. So all you have to do is search for Panels to Pixels Podcast, and we will show up. You could see our graphic for Panels to Pixels Podcast. It's all red and yellow, all that cool stuff that Kirk Manley had done for us years ago. Ring the bell, subscribe, and then give us a thumbs up. And whatever gets, messaged in there, I get notification. Same thing with Spotify. We've been getting those as well. So next week we are covering season 2, episodes 7 and 8.
I didn't write down their names. We'll talk about it next time.
Exactly. You'll be notified when we post it. So
I just want to thank you for listening. I'm Jayme.
And I'm Mark.
And this was the Sandman cast, and we will podcast in your dreams. Good night.
Good night.